In 2008, I ran an article on election morning called Obama Will Win Today, and here are the reasons why. I had a number of conservative friends who, right up until the morning of Election Day, were swearing it is going to be a Romney landslide. A Romney landslide. Boy, haven't you seen how big his rallies are? Haven't you seen, all these factors that play in? Surely it's going to be a Romney landslide. And I looked at it and I said, guys, I'm looking at all the different metrics. It's not. It's just not. So what I did is I was talking with a conservative friend the other day, and he said, well, I'm just going to tell you, whether it's Trump or Cruz, it's going to be a Republican landslide. And again, I got to tell you, it's not. It's just not. I'm not saying it can't be a Republican win, but as of right now, it can't be a Republican win. And so let's look at some metrics here. 270 to win is saying, there's only so many states that are actually even in play. Obviously, Washington, Oregon, California are going to go for the Democrat. Obviously, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, those are going to go for the Republican. Just forget they exist. It's really going to come down to Florida, Ohio, Iowa, Wisconsin, Colorado, Nevada, the swing states. They're the same swing states as last time and the time before. They really don't change all that much. So just looking at it today, 270 to win says the Democrats already have a 217 to 191 advantage. That's big, but it's not insurmountable. Then you look at something like the Freedom Lighthouse map. This shows the Democrats at 237 to Republican 181. That's a huge deficit to have to offset. It's too big. It's big. And Ohio, again, it's a swing state, man. So then you look at head-to-head polling. Trump versus Clinton. As of today, Trump is not even within the margin of error. The probability that Clinton leads Trump is 99%, according to the Huffington Post poll of polls. You said, well, Huffington Post, that's biased. It's biased. Well, Huffington Post is biased, but the polls are not. The polls are the polls. So we're looking at this. Clinton leads Trump 49 to 28, 49 to 43. So, Sanders versus Trump, 50 to 42. That's an even bigger lead. I'm not confident Sanders is going to get the nomination. That seems a bit unlikely. But let's see. Going to Politico magazine, they're coming up with the same figures as Freedom Lighthouse. Democrats 247 to Republican 206. The Democrats only need to get to 270 to win, and based on this map, they're already at 247. That's an uphill battle, man. I don't care who your nominee is. And there's other factors too. So let's look at the betting sites, because that'll give you some good information. Predict It is a site where you can bet on who is going to win. In England, you can still legally bet on American politics, which is pretty interesting. So what do we got here? Let's find it. Will the GOP win the White House in a landslide? Current betting is 83 to 17 against. So basically that means if you really believe it's going to be a GOP White House landslide, cash in your 401k, man. Go bet it all on black, or whatever color Trump is. Orange, I guess. Bet it all on orange, because you're gonna make so much money. Mortgage your house, max out your credit cards, put all the money you can on it, because you're gonna get better than 4 to 1 odds. It's amazing. You'd be crazy not to. You have to do this if you want to get rich. Let's see, where is it? Which party will win the White House? Right now it's 64 to 37, meaning it is twice as likely that the Democrats will win as the Republicans. And you can say, well, this isn't scientific. Well, it's people putting their money where their mouth is. Surely, this is just one of the metrics I used during the last election. So let's see, PredictWise, which takes betting from a number of different sites. Even starker, Democrats 67% chance of winning, Republicans 33%. Now, 2 to 1 odds are not bad. They're not bad. But that is not indicative of the undercard being the guy who's going to win by a landslide, or even win. Yeah, Hypermind, another betting site, 66 to 32, the White House will be won by a Democrat. course, it also says a 2% chance of someone else, but maybe they're thinking that the GOP will pull a fast one and try and push Trump out at the convention and he'll run third party and still win. I don't know. It's, there are so many metrics here, and all of them say the same thing. I have seen one chart that showed it's definitely going to be a Republican blowout, and it was so absurd. It had California and Washington both going for the Republican, going for Trump. That is, never say never. Nothing's impossible. But there is absolutely no reason. There's no basis in fact today to believe that. And there's other factors at play too. There's the hatred factor. Trump has the lowest approval ratings of any presidential candidate in recorded history. Now, second most hated in presidential candidacy history would be Hillary. But again, lesser of two evils. And Bernie actually has high approval ratings. So if it was down to Trump versus Sanders, you get a lot of people switching. Another disadvantage Trump has is he keeps saying, I don't want your money. This is $1 billion race. Is Trump really willing to pony up $1 billion or $2 billion just to stay competitive? If he's up against Sanders, that's definitely going to be enough. But Hillary's got super PAC money. And if Hillary gets the nomination, which looks likely at this point, the money's going to roll out, and it's going to roll out fast. If it's up against Sanders, Sanders volunteers love to phone bank. They've got a very sophisticated system which allows them to easily phone bank from home, even face bank from home, and it works. That's how Michigan went from a 20-point deficit to a narrow victory. And Sanders supporters are not letting up. So the other problem Trump has is he doesn't have the establishment support, and if he gets the nomination, it's not clear that he will get the establishment support because he is not going to support the establishment. He is not going to do what he's told, like Rubio definitely would, and Cruz probably would. So Trump's going to face opposition from all sides, and unlike Clinton, unlike Sanders, he hasn't been vetted, not to the extent they have. Any dirt on Hillary, you've already found it. She's been running for president for 12 years. Sanders has been a very boring, very consistent politician. The thought that there's some skeleton in his closet it's pretty unlikely. But again, I don't think it's going to matter because I'm just not convinced he's going to get the nomination. So there you go. As of today, the Republicans not only will lose, but the idea of them winning by a landslide is laughable. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha.